Hello everyone, welcome to chemistry class. Here we are with the second part of the chapter number 2 video, that is about physical and chemical changes. In the last class we had introduced you to the physical change and its definition, and let us now see its details with the examples of physical changes. Let us one more time read the physical change definition. Physical change is what? It is a change in which no new substance are formed and which can be reversed by reversing the condition. So these are the two conditions we discussed in the previous video also, which are required for the physical change. No new substance must be produced, also the change must be reversible. The example also we had seen one, that was the change in the state of matter. Let us now see about other examples. The glowing of a heater or a bulb. So an electric bulb or a heater glows when the current is passed through it, but the glow vanishes when the current is switched off. So what we can assume here is that it is a reversible process. The change is reversible, and also no new substance is produced. So that is why we can say the glowing of bulb and the heater is a physical change. So basically we have to follow only these two conditions. First is nothing new should be there, and second is the process should be reversible. The melting of solid, that is the other example we are reading here. Ice melts to give water. So this is actually change in state of matter only. The matter that is present in ice and water is same. Ice as well as water have the same compound H2O. So that is not changing. Matter is not changing. That is why we can say no new substance are formed when the ice melt. Also water change back into ice when cooled. So that is why we can say that the substances are not changing, and also the change is reversed by reversing the condition. That on for melting we have to heat, for the other process we have to cool, that is will lead to freezing. So that is why we can say the melting of ice is actually a physical change. And in fact, not only ice, whenever any solid is melting, any solid, it can be ice or something else, whenever any solid is melting, no new substance is formed, and also the change is reversible. So we can also write here that the melting of any solid, it can be ice, butter, sulfur, iron, lead, silver, gold, and so on. There can be a long list here. So any solid, whenever it is melting, it is called as a physical change. So that is all about the other example we have seen. The freezing of liquid, just opposite of the melting of solid is freezing of liquid. So when we are cooling down the water to 0 degrees Celsius, what happens? Water will freeze and we will get ice. But on being heated, ice melts to give back water. So that is all. We can say it is reversible, and also no new substance is produced when water freezes. As already I have told you, the substance is same. Matter is still H2O. Whether it is ice, whether it is water, the matter is not changing. Matter is that same only. H2O molecule only is there. So that is why it is a reversible process, and hence we can say it is a physical change. Freezing of water also is a physical change, and not only water, freezing of any liquid is a physical change. Freezing of any liquid is a physical change. Next, now we'll see here is sublimation. So in sublimation, what is happening? What is actually sublimation is the process in which solid will directly form vapors without melting. So if solids are converting into vapors without melting, then what will happen? That then the process of sublimation will go on there. Solid are generally changing to liquid, but if solid change to gas without melting into liquid state is not available here. So that means it is sublimation. That process is called as sublimation. The substance that undergoes sublimation, it is called as sublimate. So sublimation is done by the sublimates only. I hope it is clear to you. So when the solid is changing to vapor, that is happening on heating. But when you are cooling down, the same vapors, if you are cooling down, then they will convert back to solid. So solid can become gas, and gas can become solid. Solid will become to gas on heating, and gas will become to solid on cooling. So that is why we can say it is what? It is a reversible process. I hope the point is clear to you. The change is what? Reversible change. And also the second condition is no new substance is produced, whether it is solid or it is gas. The substance is not changing. That is why sublimation is therefore categorized as a as a physical change. We can see which type of substances are having sublimation. Please learn the name. First substance is ammonium chloride. The formula of ammonium chloride is NH4Cl. NH4Cl is ammonium chloride. Please write down in your books. Next is camphor, that is the second substance. First you have seen ammonium chloride, NH4Cl. Second one is camphor. Camphor in Hindi it is called as kapoor. It produces a good smell. Next is naphthalene. Naphthalene balls are kept in almirahs and other places wherever you are keeping your clothes. Naphthalene ball, white color balls are there. They are kept in the clothes so that moths or other germs cannot grow there. Also there is no foul smell coming from the clothes. After that they will absorb all the moisture. And the fourth one is iodine. Iodine solid can change into iodine vapors, and again the iodine vapors can change back to iodine solid on heating and cooling respectively. So that is all. These are the four substances which can undergo sublimation. This can be asked in exam. Please mark it down in your book. Next is the dissolution of the substance in a liquid. What is dissolution? Dissolution means when we are dissolving any substance, when we dissolve any solid in a liquid, any solute in any solvent. What is solute? The substance that we are dissolving, that is generally solid only. Whatever substance you are dissolving, it is called as solute, and the liquid in which the substance is getting dissolved, it is called as the solvent. So solute and solvent, when both are mixed with each other, what we will get? We will finally get a solution. So last line we will read here: a solute dissolves in a solvent to form solution. Solute will dissolve inside the solvent. Solvent is a liquid, and then we will get a solution. Suppose you are taking some sugar and you are having some water. So when you are taking sugar and putting in water and you are starting to dissolve, so sugar will be the solute, so water will be the solvent, and finally what we will get? We will get sugar solution. We will not get water, we will get sugar solution. Same way, salt plus water, salt solution. So these are some examples of solutions. Also when you have got the solution, you can take out the solute back by evaporation. If you take some salt and water and mix both of them, you will get salt solution. But if you keep that same salt solution on heating or on evaporation, in the sunlight you can keep, and what will happen? Water will evaporate. Water will convert into water vapor and move out of the container. What will be left behind is only salt will remain. So solute can be obtained back, and because of this we can say it is a reversible change, and we finally conclude this solution is also a physical change. So I hope the point is clear. Now they have explained the same thing in more details. What actually is happening when the solid is dissolving in water? The liquid volume is not changing. The space occupied by the liquid is not changing. If you have taken a particular container and in that water is there, and in that water you have added some solid. After adding the solid, water should come upwards after dissolving that solid, not after adding. After dissolving the solid in water, water level should rise, but it is not rising. On adding something it will rise, but after dissolving it will again become normal only, like it was there before the adding of the solute. So what is the reason why the liquid volume is not changing? The reason is simple. This is just because whatever solid we are adding, that solid molecule will break down into the small molecules of the liquid. Means what does it mean? The molecules of the solid will hide themselves in the extra space or intermolecular space of the liquid. Still, if it is not clear, we can see this diagrammatic representation here. These are the solid molecules, and here you can see solvent. In this box you can see right now, this is solvent, this is liquid, and this side it is solid. When you are mixing solid and liquid, what will happen? Molecules will break. All the molecules will become separate from each other, and these molecules will take this space. You can see a lot of space is there between different molecules. You can see a lot of space is there, that is intermolecular space, and solid is taking that space only. Solid is not taking any extra space, because solid molecules are hiding themselves in the intermolecular space of the liquid. They are not taking any extra space. That is why the volume of liquid does not change after adding or after dissolving the solid also. Volume of liquid will not change. If solid are taking any extra space, then only we can see the level of the liquid will rise, the volume will be more. So that is not changing. Just the reason is clear. I hope it is fine for your class. Nothing more is required, so I have explained that. If any doubt again in this activity, you can ask it again. Now we have this activity only. The same thing only they are doing with the activity. You have to take some water in a glass tumbler and mark the level. First of all, mark it with a marker. Take a container and put some water and put a line or put a mark up to the level where water is coming. After that, what we have to do? After that, we have to add some sugar. When you will add some sugar, what will happen? Water will come upwards. See, you can see here level is this side. This line you can see downward line. This is the level they have marked, but water has come upwards. So this is just on adding the sugar. But after you have dissolved, after the sugar has dissolved, what will happen? This sugar will mix there and hide in the extra space, the intermolecular space of the liquid. Now again what will happen? This level will go down. You can see now in the next photograph, in the next part, that the water has gone back to the original level. First of all, water was in the original level, then it has risen, again it has gone back. This is because after dissolving, the solid will not take any extra space in the liquid. So that is all about this part. I hope it is clear. The last example that is remaining here is evaporation and based on that drying of clothes. These are physical changes. Why is it so? Because when a liquid is evaporating, what is happening? It is depending upon the temperature. Evaporation of liquid depends on temperature. If the temperature is increasing, the evaporation also increase. And at the boiling point, that means at the 100 degrees Celsius, what will happen? Evaporation will be fastest, because at that time, at the temperature of 100 degrees Celsius, all the water will convert into the gas. So that at the temperature of the boiling point of that liquid, whatever liquid, for water it is 100 degrees Celsius, different liquids have different boiling temperatures. So it depends on that liquid only. So according to that boiling point of the liquid, evaporation rate will be fastest. And when these vapors are collected and cooled down, what will happen? They will give back the liquid, water change into the vapors, and you know that vapors change into the water back. That is how rainfall occurs on our planet. So that is water cycle you used to see in the lower classes. So this is a reversible change, and you already know water or water vapor, both are same thing, nothing new is produced. So first thing, reversible. Second thing, no new substance is produced there. Hence we can say evaporation or boiling of the liquid like water, alcohol, ether, any kind of liquid, whenever it is having evaporation and boiling, it is a physical change. Also the condensation of the vapors, the converting the gas or the vapors into liquid, converting of the water vapor into liquid, so that is called as condensation. This condensation also is a physical change. There also both the conditions are fulfilled. That is a reversible change also. It is the second condition is also there, nothing new is produced. So that is all based on this one application based example they have given here is, that is the drying of the clothes. That is just what is we have seen, evaporation only. When the wet clothes you put in the sunlight, what will happen? They become dry. Where the water has gone, the water has evaporated. So water will slowly evaporate and the clothes get dried after some period of time, and it is reversible. You know that you can put your clothes any number of time in the water and put them in the sun. Every time they will get dry, every time they will become wet. Dry in the sun, wet in the water. So it is a reversible change. And also nothing new is produced. You already know that if you put your clothes in water, nothing new is coming. Clothes are still there, water is still there. So no new substance are formed. The change is reversible. Both conditions are fulfilled. Hence we can say drying of clothes is a physical change. So that is all for the physical change part. That is all completed. The next video will have for the chemical changes and its definition and examples. We will follow up in the upcoming classes. So that is all for this present video. We will take a halt now and we will follow up in the next upcoming video in the next week. Any doubts or comments are welcome here. You can post it in the comment section below, or you can also directly send a message using the Teams app in the chat section there. Also you can ask any doubt to your live class teacher also, who is teaching chemistry in the live class on Teams app. You can ask them as well. So that is all. Let us end the class now and we will follow up in the next week. Thank you everyone.